Welcome back to Stamping at the Warren, and I'm Kim Tolton, and today I am sharing with you a very unisex card with another watercolour technique. Same technique as I used for the rainbow card I did earlier this week using the new Marquee Messages stamp set. We are going to be using the same stamp set today, but in a completely different way. And I just want to run through with you all of the products that you are going to need, and details on how to order is in the show more section of today's video. Right, so first of all, the two stamp sets are the Marquee Messages that you won't be able to order until the 1st of June. And then the other one is Wetlands. Now this is one of my all-time favourites. It's a fab unisex stamp that can be used for all ages and all people. I'm going to take out the stamps that I'm using today, and because I'm participating in the hashtag I'm bringing birthdays back project, I'm using the birthday sentiment out of there. Then you need to make your card base from Tip Top Taupe cardstock, and this is a long side fold card, so it's a piece of cardstock measuring 30 centimetres by 10.5 centimetres, then scoring through that middle section at 15 centimetres, and that's your card base. Keep that well to one side because we're going to be doing inky messiness. Then you need a piece of shimmery white cardstock measuring 14 by 9.7 centimetres. You need some scrap of Lost Lagoon, or you could use mint macaron, that would work equally well, or Mossy Meadow. Just a nice greenish blue would work best. And then you need some linen thread. We're also going to be using the Project Life cards and labels framelits dies. Now these are in the retiring bin, people, so if you haven't already purchased them, you know, you need to crack on in there. Then we're using a number of ink pads, both for stamping and for the watercolour. So I'm using Always Artichoke, Early Espresso, Mint Macaron, Crumb Cake. I nearly said Sahara Sand. Crumb Cake, Tip Top Taupe, and Delightful Dijon. Actually, I'm going to change that. Yeah, no, Delightful Dijon. We'll run with that. We're going to be using those. So I'm going to just very quickly do the watercolour technique. Just to recap on yesterday's video. So just get your Aquapainter filled with water, and then you just want to get this cardstock wet. So just squeeze the chamber and you will get drops of water coming out, and shimmery white cardstock will stand up to watercolour techniques so long as it doesn't become absolutely saturated. It will warp, so you have to give it time to dry. So what we're achieving here is you want to create the horizon, and below that will be the beach colour, and above it will be the sky. And let's start. So Crumb Cake is for stamping. So if we start with the sky, so we're using Mint Macaron for the sky, and just leave, I'm using mine so that the sun is coming through this way, so you just need to leave space for some yellow to get in there. and just around that sort of area. And you can make it as light or as dark as you want it to be. You can create, I'm using sideways motions. You could just as easily make it a bit more stormy with swirls. It's your card, it's your project. And then you just, where your horizon is going to be, just build up a bit of colour just so that it makes it clearly defined, and then bring your colour up a bit. Okay, so that's your first colour, and that's your mint macaron finished with. Next we will do the base for the beach, and we're using Delightful Dijon for that. Lovely sandy colour. It is quite bright, so don't overdo it, but we're actually going to tone it down with a bit of Tip Top Taupe. Okay, so that's your base colour, and I've just stuck my thumb in the ink pad. Ooh, that was clever. Right, so then with Tip Top Taupe, you can see where I've made the cards before. I've already got ink in the well. If you haven't, all you do is you close the ink pad up and you give it a really good squeeze between two fingers. Right, now we're just going to build. So I'll show you now actually, because this needs to be done. So you just literally, I mean, it really is a good squeeze. Good squeeze. And then you can open your ink pad up, and there you have ink that's transferred from the sponge of the ink pad into the well. And then from there we can just add some tonal colour just to tone down the yellow, but we're also going to use it to go up to that horizon like that. Again, you're just defining that horizon, and then bring the colour back down. Okay, that's that bit. Early Espresso is for stamping, and always Artichoke is for stamping. So we just need to go back to the Hello Honey, and I've got a big blob of water here, so I'm going to use that to my advantage and just add some colour up, some water up here. Back to the Delightful Dijon, and you're just going to allow that to bleed in and over, and that will be the yellow for the sun. And if you want more blue, just add a bit more blue in. You can build it up. If the cardstock starts to get too wet, give it a chance to dry out, then you can go back and add more colour again. So that's all we're doing in terms of the background, and that now needs to go and sit and get completely dry. And when it's finished, I'm just going to take away any big blobs of water so it doesn't spoil my project. So you can see it's a bit warped around the edges, so the easiest way is just to use your fingers and just, in a way, like stretching a canvas on a frame. So just both ways, both sides, just stretch it out, and you'll find that that will go flat like that. And you can see how the colour changes. It's the wrong way around. So you can see this is the horizon up here, okay, and this is more of a stormy sky you've got up here. And that's the joy of any watercolour technique, is it is different every single time. So I'm going to start with a very quick, simple masking technique. And what I am using is this section here. And that section there is going to create this to the rails. Alright, so all you need is I think I used actually I think it's been a while since I did it. I think that's chocolate chip, so we'll go chocolate or so. No, actually I'm going to go soft suede, I think. And all you want to do is ink this up just along this edge here. Do not worry too much about those side pieces, alright, because by the time we have finished this card, you're not going to see a huge amount of it. You just want to be clear where you're going to be putting your railing and in which direction, and then just bring in some card, not card, I'm just using a piece of paper just to roughly hide where the star would be coming in, that star section. So it's a very quick and simple masking technique, but as I say, it is not crucial. And there is your boundary, and from there we can now start building this up with stamping. So the first thing is, I've already got it open, haven't I? So the first thing is your little ducks, and that is early espresso, so a nice dark colour, because these are quite sketched. So I'll show you there, they're quite sketchy. And these we're going to put up here roughly around the horizon area. So 2 rows, one slightly beneath the other. And then we go with making all this lovely greenery. So first off, we're going to go with the green. So we're using always artichoke for the green. And just nice and randomly all along that bottom edge, and then at the side you want it to come up a bit more. And then go over it again, and then you're going to swap that, and all I do is make sure I ink off onto my paper so it's gone, and then we're going to use crumb cake to add in some more of those grasses, but this time it looks more like dried grass. You want it all overlapping. So if you've ever been on holiday where there's sand dunes and that kind of thing, that's the sort of effect that you want. Okay, so that's those done. And then your next job is, let me think. I'm actually going to go a little bit higher with that crumb cake, just to tie in. That's better, I'm happy happier with that. And it gives just a bit more of that beach effect. Sometimes you just have to play around with things, and there you go. Right, so that's that. Next, you want a scrap piece of, sorry, put my stamps away. You want a scrap piece of shimmery white cardstock to stamp your sentiment onto. And we're going to be using Early Espresso again because it's a lovely rich dark colour. It's just a nice simple happy birthday. And then once I've stamped this, we need to make a bit of space because we need to get my die cutting machine up here. I'm just going to move all this out of the way so that it's less cluttered. Finish with all of my stamps, and then we can bring, let's put the lid on there, put my Aquapainter away, stamps out the way, or rather ink pads out the way, and we're ready. Right, let's get my big shot. There we go. And I had my die pack somewhere, didn't I, there? So I'm going to use this to actually layer the label. And it's a little quick and easy technique to show you. So I'm going to start by cutting out the birthday. And I've lost my birthday. There it is. And I love this. I'm so sorry that this is going, not so much for the cards, but I just love these labels. Look, you've got 3 label dies in there. This is the one that we're using, and they're super. So I never sell my dies, I just keep collecting them. What I will start doing now is disposing my many big dies that I've collected over all the years I've been card making, and trust me, I've got hundreds of the things. I collect embossing folders, and I collect dies, and I collect stamps. There you go. Right, so that's gone through the big shot, and that's your basic birthday sentiment. What we're now going to do, or what I'm going to show you, is how to layer that up. So with your cardstock, and this is Lost Lagoon, I'm just using up the last scraps of what I've got now. I think I've got 2 sheets of, sorry, I've lost my cutting plate. Have I got 2 on? No. Can anybody see my second cutting plate? There it is. It's a problem when they're clear, isn't it? Right. I've lost track of my thread now. Never mind. Right, so this is a really great little technique to know. So we're going to cut 2 of these. Now I'm using my magnetic platform with my big shot. But there is something quite exciting coming in the new catalogue for our big shots. I'm not saying any more than that. Okay, so I'm just going to put my big shot away. And back we come. This is where we can now just finish off. I'm just going to put my dies away because I do panic that I lose them, I misplace them, and then I can't find them ever again, and then it frustrates me. You're going to need a bit of Tombow, and you've got, so what we've got here, we've got 2 Lost Lagoon labels, a birthday label. Need a card base which we put to one side. And I can't remember where I put it. Oh my goodness. It is getting late in the day and I've done an awful lot of videoing and card making today, and I'm feeling a little bit brain deady. I can't believe I've lost my card base. I said, oh, put it out of the way, didn't I? Make sure you put it out of the way so it doesn't get wet, guys. Make sure it's not in here. No, it's not. No, it's not there. Not there, not there. For goodness sake. There it is. Look, under the ink pads. Right. So we can mat this down onto the ink, onto the card base. I find that when you use something that warps, for whatever reason, whatever technique you're using, fast fuse or Tombow or tear and tape are the adhesives you really need to use. I prefer Tombow, but each to their, not Tombow, I prefer fast fuse first, and then I'll use Tombow after that, and then tear and tape I use a lot for box making. So we're just going to mat this down, and I've purposely left it a fairly wide mat on here, just to really make this central panel stand out. Then we're going to layer up this birthday greeting. So you need a pair of paper snips. I'll put mine away. So first of all, you're going to cut through one of the Lost Lagoon labels in half that way. And the other one, you're going to cut in half that way. Okay, now this is where the little bit of magic happens. I start with the narrow bits, and you just want the tiniest bit of Tombow along that edge, and then that you layer up there. So you've got it layered there. I'll zoom in on it once I finish it. Repeat with the other one. Just that fine line across there, and then mat the other one, trying to make the overlap the same. And then I put these bits on last. So a nice little circle of Tombow. Pop these on, and you just leave it so they're, again, same sort of extra bit on the side. Same with this bit. And Tombow sets so quickly. I'm just going to zoom you in. You have to remember to go the opposite way when I'm doing things upside down. There we go. There you have a little layered label, and it looks really cool and really nice, I think. It's a nice way of finishing your card anyway. So, a couple of dimensionals on the back of there, and I've messed everything up, so my Stampin' dimensionals have gone AWOL. No, they haven't, not really. Never lose my dimensionals because they're always attached to me. And this goes down onto your card front. Just so, and then finish with a nice flourish of linen thread. I wrap it around 3 fingers, but having the fingers open a little bit, and I wrap it around 3 or 4 times. Then I give it a twist, and then I wrap around like that. I pick up the opposite end, and then whilst holding on to my linen thread, I then tie a knot in the middle. Don't go too mad, because if you tie it too tight, you'll start finding everything getting shorter. Now what's fab is, although you've tied your bow, you can actually move it up and down. Okay, so you can get that nicely centered. I do like quite nice tails on mine, especially on a card like this, which is quite masculine. It would be perfect for a sympathy card, perfect for men, you know, all sorts of things, sort of harvest, you know, Thanksgiving, that sort of thing. Pop a glue dot on, and then before you stick it on, just make sure any edges of that glue dot that stick out proud, just tuck them in. It just stops it sticking to the envelope when you put it in, and then just pop that up there. And there is your finished card. So you've got those, the beach boards, I can never remember what they're called, these pilings that were on the beach. And I think that's quite a sweet card, and it's a lovely technique, and you can really see how the colours bleach out from when you first paint them. I'm just trying to find what I did with the original. It's drying. Let's see if it's changed colour. But they're also all different colours. So that's the original, that's the one I've just made here. And then the background on the other one that we've just painted is probably again different altogether. I've obviously tucked it away so I didn't get it in the way. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Isn't it amazing? This looks like it's a bright sunny day, and that looks like a stormy, cloud-ridden or stormy sort of rain pending type of thing. Same things, but they are. Right, so that's it for today. Don't forget all my information on my social media and my online store and my blog are in the show more section under today's video. There's also a direct link from my video to my blog post today, which they both go live at the same time. And if you're on my video now, I'm not sure which is top right. Is that top right? Because I'm upside down when I video. But in the top right there is a little eye. If you click on there, that just click on the card, and that will take you to today's blog post as well. So lots of different ways of getting in there. Don't forget to follow my community Pinterest board. So long as I see you have an interest in card craft and papercraft, I will send you an invitation to join the board where you can start pinning your creations. That's it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and ta-ta for now.